My name is Alia Sood and I'm a member of the Transfer of Care Hub team here in Lincoln. We're here to help people who are in hospital get home as quickly as possible and to identify any support they may already have at home and any additional support they may need. Every patient's journey through the hospital and out again is carefully planned. On the ward every day there's a board round. That's a multidisciplinary meeting of doctors, nurses and other professionals such as adult social care to discuss each patient, what treatment they might need, what the plans are for their discharge and what might prevent them from going home. To show you how this process works, I'm going to give you the example of a patient called Colin, a gentleman in his 70s who was admitted to the county hospital emergency department. He had fallen over and injured his hip.
I was putting the recycling out. I came back in, down the garden steps and bang! I missed my footing. There I was, down on the concrete outside the back door, writhing around in agony, and I couldn't get up. It was my mate John found me in the end. He turned up because we'd arranged to go down the bowls club that afternoon. Anyway, he phoned the paramedics. They stretchered me into the ambulance and off to A&E.
I was on my lunch break at work and I got a call to tell me that Dad had fallen over and he'd been taken to A&E at County Hospital. Oh my God, all kinds of things were going through my head.
After Colin was seen by the emergency department team, the consultant's recommendation was for urgent surgery on his hip.
I'd managed to crack my hip and I needed a screw put in to hold it together.
The operation went smoothly and successfully, but Colin required post-op care on a ward for a week.
That week was tough, I can tell you. My hip was sore and so stiff. I quickly became very weak, I had no energy, and I felt very, very low. On top of that, I was worried about the next step. How was I going to manage at home?
He wasn't ready, and he knew he wasn't ready. But the hospital staff talked to us about something called an active recovery bed in a care home. That's where he'd receive physiotherapy treatment to help him get back on his feet again.
We try very hard to get everyone home because that's the best option, but in Colin's case, he needed some more support before he could return home. And we decided he would benefit from a period of recovery and reablement in an active recovery bed. This was the best fit for his needs.
Dad was well looked after on the hospital ward, and to be honest, I was amazed how quickly he recovered.
I did, that's true. But we were worried about the next step.
Our team arranged a meeting with Colin and his daughter Lisa to discuss the plan to transfer him to an active recovery bed.
Dad was ready to go, but initially he wasn't really very happy about being moved to a different place.
I was a bit flaky at that point.
When people are in hospital for any length of time, it can have a negative effect on them both physically and mentally. And this is particularly the case for elderly patients. We're always anxious as we don't want to return home to fail. And in Colin's case, he needed additional therapy to ensure that he was mobile enough to be independent at home.
We shouldn't have worried. When he got to the care home, it was brilliant. The staff were so welcoming, and you love being out of bed and talking to the patients and the staff.
And what's more, we had our meals at a table, up and dressed properly, not in a bed. And I began to feel more normal. They worked hard on me, mind you, those therapists. And I worked hard too. I practiced everything they told me to.
Every time I visited Dad, there seemed to be some improvement. It was just so lovely seeing him become his old self again.
Then it came time for me to go back to my own home. That's when the doubts crept in. I mean, it knocks your confidence when you have a fall. And I wondered how I was going to cope on my own.
So we were put in contact with adult social care, and their reablement team were absolutely fabulous. They arranged for support for Dad for the first 2 weeks, somebody to come in every morning and help him get dressed. And they supplied a Zimmer frame. I mean, to be honest, I could not see him taking to that, but he did. And through the Age UK home support buddies. We were able to arrange for Dad's house to be ready for him when he got home. And they even sent somebody in to check for even more trip hazards, which was great.
OK, I'm not 100%. It's still a bit painful to walk, but I am getting there. And John's coming round this afternoon, and later on we are going down the pub. Game of dominoes and a pint. Yay! So, cheers.
Colin's case is a great example of how the community care system works to get a patient the ongoing care they need so they're fit and well enough to go back home. The cohesion is there and it works very well. And of course, this process helps to free up those vital hospital ward beds.